let's start things off. Obviously, like the predecessor, the game is very similar to, the Rogue City, which obviously it's basically the same game. It's got a lot of the quirkiness that game had. They like to have a bit of fun, and they they stay true to the films very much so, like just in lore, catchphrases, just in the demeanor of everybody, like RoboCop specifically. They stay true to it, so that's always a good thing. The game is quite enjoyable in that sense. Like the headshots are fun and satisfying. And obviously towards the end of the game there, when we got that OP pistol, some might consider that cheating, but it's in the game, and they literally give you the chipset to do it. So why not use it? So that was I thought that once we got that maxed out level, it was just pure fun. Like when you enter a cheat code and you just go ham on people, it's just entertaining. That's what that reminded me of. And it felt like classic video games, like from many years ago. And, just entering a cheat code and just for fun, just to try it out one time and just run through it. That's what it felt like to me. So I enjoyed it for that. And obviously, overall, it was a pretty fun experience. There are some things to mention, though, that are on the negative side. I don't think the storyline in this one was nearly as strong as the base game. Obviously, there's a bit of a detachment. I don't think the characters are as interesting. It did seem kind of all over the place, and I don't think you're really going to remember much about it. And I thought some of the characters as well, so like especially Graves, he was very cliche, and I don't know, he just looked like a stereotypical bad guy that would be in a comic, with the eyepiece and just his backstory, even his name. It was just like, okay, let's just throw bad guy names into ChatGPT and see what we'll come up with, and that's what it did. Another thing to mention as well, the game has a lot of, at least in its current build, it does have performance issues. We started to, I crashed I think 7 times. It might have had something to do with being unlimited, my frame rate unlimited. Once I switched it to a lock at 60, it seemed to be pretty consistent, but it's possible we just got lucky from then on out. But we did crash 7 times during the course of this 9.5-hour stream, which is pretty substantial, and it's very frustrating. Even when I have it on, DLSS is on, I just think it needs to be optimized. And that's the downside about it, is because it's its own game, it's a standalone, it's not building off of the original game. So it's a whole new set. It's not, you know what I mean? So it's not like a patch, it's literally a separate entity. So it did feel different. It did feel like a completely different game from the first one in a lot of ways. Instead of having a lot more exploration and detective-based things or whatever, they had the side missions, but they just seemed kind of more simple and more streamlined. There was less to them. There were some that were pretty interesting, like obviously with the scientist and that murder mystery there, that was pretty interesting. But most of the missions, there's a lot of just back and forth, and the combat got a little repetitive. Obviously the like I said, the original game, the combat felt different, I think because it was balanced a little bit more, but something was definitely different about it. I feel like something was changed with this build of the game, or this particular game, from the original. It just did not feel remotely similar to it. So unfortunately, it did get a little grindy, and I think this game would have benefited, or this expansion would have benefited if it was shorter and a little bit more to it. I think it was cheaper and shorter. If you cut this DLC or this expansion in half, I think you would have had a much better experience. That way they would have spent that extra half of the game, polishing the less game. You know what I mean? When you take on a bigger project with a smaller studio, there's going to be a lot more issues along the way. So I wish they actually made this more of just a DLC, not a standalone expansion. I appreciate that they give you quite a good bang for your buck based on the fact that it's a $40 expansion, and you do get, it took me 9.5 hours to do. I'm sure you can get through it faster, but I feel like it will take you 8 to 10 hours to beat this. So if that's a $40, basically it's its own game. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just an expansion in the sense that it's building off of the original game that came out 2 years ago almost. So, like I said, it's got, overall, it's going to be forgettable, and I just wish they just took some time away from it. The original game is definitely worth your time, though. If you haven't played Rogue City yet, I would definitely look into it. It's super cheap right now, at least on Steam, so I would definitely consider checking it out. But overall, based on all these things, just to summarize quickly, the game is old school fun. There's some funny moments, there's some really quirky elements to it, that they continued the tradition of Rogue City, how that game was just so out of left field, and it was it didn't take itself too seriously, but it also treated the franchise with respect and being, you know, or sorry, treated the franchise with respect in regards to like lore and the characters, and they did all that very, very well. And I think it's really nice that they nodded to so many different little things about the game, and like I said, that continues over to unfinished business as well. There is some comical moments, but the gameplay itself is just repetitive. It's a bit jank in this build. I'm not saying it was perfect in the last build either, like in the original game, but you were willing to look past it because of the things that made it so great. But this one, because it's so mediocre in terms of story and pacing, it just doesn't really hold up that much. So I think it's decent. I just think it needed to be shorter and cheaper. So at this state, I would hold off on buying this, buy the base game, maybe wait till this drops in price by like, eventually it will go on sale for like 10 bucks or even $5 like the base game has. That's a great way to get into it. They might even have a bundle for 20. Just get it. Honestly, the game is worth full price, the base game. So if there's any way you can get both together for a bundle, like if you look at it that way, you can get the base game for 40 some bucks if you buy this and the DLC with it, or 40 bucks. Man, you might as well, you know what I mean? So that's just my two cents on it, my thoughts. So overall, I'm going to give this game, I think it's fair to give it a 6 out of 10. Jesus, what happened there? 6 out of 10. Excuse me, the standalone expansion. It's not bad. Obviously, I just wish, and it's still got a lot of great going for it. I just feel like with the performance issues, which obviously are going to get ironed out, with the performance issues and just the repetitive gameplay and a lot of the jank that just hasn't been working. Like it looks like they went with a completely different build on this compared to the original, and it went in the wrong direction. So that's just my opinion. But overall, it's still decent and it's worth your time at some point. I just think they need to dial that stuff in, which is why it gives it a 6. So I'm being a bit generous on that just because it is like from a small studio and you get a lot of gameplay here for the money. So look at it that way. You're getting a good bang for your buck despite the negatives of it. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts below, subscribe if you're new, and make sure you turn on those post notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss anything I put out here on the channel. Be sure to follow my social pages, Facebook, X, Instagram, Snapchat, and Discord. Those are all linked in the description. If you want to get yourself a shirt or hoodie of mine, there's a link in the description for that. Also on better feature below the stream. You can scroll down and see some goodies I had there, but ultimately just go to the website for the full range of products and customization options. Be sure to check out, big shout out to all the sponsors as well. DXRacer Bones Coffee, Ridge Wallet, Mad Rabbit Tattoo. I use those guys' products every single day. You can check them out for yourselves with the links in the description. Be sure to use my promo code DANQ8000 to save a checkout with them. If you guys want to send something to my P.O. box, you can do that using the address that's linked in the description. Not linked, but it's in the description. So check that out. Send something my way. I'll open it on a social post or a live stream, whatever makes more sense, depending on what's sent. And finally, be sure to check out and sign up for the Team 8000 membership program. If you haven't done so yet, supports the page immensely. There are 4 different tiers, 4 price points. The first tier is only 99 cents, so it's cheap. It's easy to get into the program. For signing up, you get things like custom badges by your name, custom emojis used in chat, exclusive video and stream access, priority in open lobbies, giveaways, discounts, and plenty more. We are working away currently through the the mid 200s roughly, trying to get back up to 300. If you guys want to help us reach that goal once again, support the channel in the process while you get some cool perks. You can join that with the link in the description. Let's join button below the stream. Also a section on my main channel page as well. If you guys want to gift members or send supers, you can do both of those through the $sign icon that's right next to chat. Give it a click. You'll see those options there. If you are gifting, just keep in mind you can gift 1 to 50 in a single transaction, but ultimately you can gift as many as you like through multiple transactions. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we catch you in the next one. All right, thanks guys, take care, peace.
Who's the man with the plan? If you feel trouble wildin' wild on these violent and hit you 8,000. Wait a minute, hold that style, it's dialed in. Goddamn Billy Jack, we still riding, tires flat. I hear them sirens, see shots flying, so we driving, fire back if they ain't vibing. Lie with that, got me dressed up in all black. What up? Hood up, and I see them haters try to run with us. They gon' need inhalers, gotta breathe them hard just like Darth Vader. Players, grab your respirators, night invaders get lightsabered. Mask on for the shooters, move like trash to bed intruder. Got that Glock and got them woofers. Just press play, I'll keep it moving. Who is not still, you damn fools? Keep it fresh like canned food. There ain't nothing we can't do, so tune into that damn Q. Yeah. It was never, ever a game.